Hello, everyone. Welcome to Abnormal Investigations. I had a few things I was going over before we started the show tonight. I do still have allergies, of course. I've been sneezing my head off all day today, so hopefully I'm not going to sneeze through the whole show. So let's see. We was going to get at some. Let's see. Let's go ahead and start off, and then I'll answer your question too, Gary. Hey, Keith, good to see you. Carolyn, good to see you. Good to see you, Gary. Andrew, good to see you. Got a lot of awesome people in here tonight. Good to see you, Michelle McGuire. Congratulations on your shield or wrench, depending on where you're watching it. Blue Biddy, good to see you tonight. Always a pleasure to see you. It's a pleasure to see everybody in the chat tonight. Mr. T-Bone, good to see you. T-Bone, if you could, throw me an email. I'd like to talk to you. Carolyn, good to see you. Christina, good to see you. So, guys, we got a Nancy, of course, is in here. Good to see you, Nancy. Nancy, I was looking at the links. I don't know if they're turning blue or not. So mine did. I don't know if yours is doing it. Mine was blue on the phone, but it was not blue on my computer. So I don't know if that's blue to you guys or not. It shows blue to me, but I have no idea. I'm about done fighting with this computer for tonight. So, Mr. Tim Wrestler, good to see you in the chat tonight. Got a lot of good folks in here tonight. Good to see everybody in here tonight. And, of course, who's ready for Boots on the Ground tomorrow night, guys? Can you believe it's already back? It's already time to do another Boots on the Ground. Already that fast. Good to see you too, Blue Biddy. Always a pleasure. Okay, that's all that matters, Nancy. If they're doing it, then they should be blue. Awesome. Excuse me. So we have a few things lined up for everybody. of course, tomorrow night at 9 o'clock p.m., we're going to be boots on the ground. I know that's a lot of your all's favorite. This Saturday coming up. Gary, I need a partner for sure. Gary, I've tried, but they all run away, man. I don't know what the deal is. I'm going to have to get me some duct tape and, I don't know, some duct tape and maybe some rope. I'm not sure. But Saturday at 5 o'clock p.m. on my outdoor channel, I am going to be doing a live catfishing, show at 5 o'clock. I don't know how long we're going to stay on the show, but we are going to go live at 5 o'clock because I'm also going to be filming for a video drop, a premiere. But we're going to go live at 5 o'clock either way while we're filming and doing whatever we're doing on the outdoor channel. So here's the thing. We fish, of course, where I also do my boots on the ground. So if a lot of you all would like to see where we go during the night, where we go, and see it in the daylight, the outdoor channel will be a great place to do that. But also, there can be some things happen at nighttime while we're fishing. Just because we're on the outdoor channel does not mean something won't happen while we're out there. So if you're interested in that, I would subscribe because I have that channel set up the same way I have this set up. You do have to be a subscriber to be able to participate in the chat. Now, here's another thing. It's going to be a little different than this channel. I may set it up to where you have to be a subscriber for a week to even be live on there. So if you want to be on the outdoor channel with this Saturday at 5 o'clock, and we may go live again that night, during the night, something happens, we may do another live, you'll need to be subscribed. And Nancy, I'll drop that link so you don't have to right now. And here is the link, guys, right here, if you're interested. Let's see here. So we got that out of the way. I got I don't know how. Let me bring Amanda in on this one. Amanda's got to be in on this. This is kind of about Amanda too.
Hi, Mike.
Hello.
Hi, everyone in
Hello,
chat.
Amanda. What's
How are
up?
you?
I'm
Doing
great.
good.
How are you? Absolutely. Living my best life. Living my best life.
Yep, me too.
Drop my email. Nancy Fancy. Could you drop my email in there, please? It's also, yeah, and it should be T-Bone scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now as you see it going across down at the bottom. It should be displaying my email at some point. I know it's about a mile long, but we had to get a lot of stuff in there. Let's see. So I thought it was a little weird. About 30 minutes before the show, my phone lit up with message after message after message after message after message after message. I don't even know who these people are. Well, I can't say that. I knew who a few of y'all were. So they all pretty much asked the same question. And instead of answering everybody singly and typing the same thing over and over and over and over and over, I decided I would just go ahead and answer right here on the show. So they was asking questions about Sky and Amanda. You guys were the topic.
Oh, goody.
Absolutely. So I'm going to answer the first part. And Amanda, I will let you answer for your own self since you're on here.
Okay.
And you can tell them what you're doing and what you're planning on doing. So the question was, I want to summarize it so I don't have to read everybody's question. It was all meaning the same thing. They said, so is Sky and Amanda your full-time co-hosts? And how come they're not always there? So let me answer for Sky, since she's not here tonight. She couldn't make it tonight. She has family things that she's taking care of, personal reasons. Right now, Sky is I would call her not a temporary, but a part-time co-host. She has a lot of things going on in her life.
Yes.
Being a co-host isn't just showing up and talking. There's a lot of behind the scenes research, coordination, and everything to do a show.
Yeah.
So if you don't see Sky here, it's because she is not a permanent co-host. Now, I just got right now. Look, I'm kidding. So to answer that question, am I going to have permanent co-hosts? That's something that I'm kicking around right now. I don't know if I will have permanent co-hosts. You know, as y'all know in a show, a co-host is really more than just a co-host. They're a partner to the show, which really makes them pretty much live that channel. It's a big step for somebody to do that.
Yes.
But as far as Sky right now, no, she is not a full-time abnormaler. She is a part-time, and as she has time to be able to do it. And then Amanda, I'm going to let you answer that for yourself before we.
Okay. So I work Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 p.m. I'm an in-home caregiver. I care for the elderly. So I sometimes can't be there, obviously. On the weekends, I'm always available. And after 5 p.m., I'm available most of the time. I also have a son who's 15. So
You have a busy life also.
Exactly. So I'm here when I can be.
Exactly. So you and Sky are pretty much part-timers on the co-host.
Yeah.
And pretty much always my moderators. You guys are always, you'll step in and say hello when you're moderator, whatever. Now, the next question, Sunshine, along with others, want to know, am I looking for a permanent co-host? That's a hard question. That's like whenever I used to work and I was a captain and somebody would come in and say, are you looking for a supervisor? Well, there's two answers to that question. I'm always looking for a good supervisor, a full-time good supervisor, but also you're going to have to meet the criteria that I'm looking for to be able to do that. Unfortunately, we have a whole lot of applicants, but very few that meet the requirements, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense.
Makes sense to me.
I try to make sense anyways. So the only full-time person here is me and poor Sharon and Nancy that I pretty much drag around with me everywhere. We're probably going to have to buy them dinner or something, Amanda. I don't know. They probably deserve it. So I hope that answers everybody's questions.
But I'm basically a full-timer, even though I work. I still am always moderating when I can.
Right,
like
you're always one. Yeah, you're here one fashion or another. You're here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So my next thing I want to address is for Gary. Hello, Gary. How are you, sir? Gary was talking about that what we're going to discuss tonight was said by, I can't remember the two names, but it really doesn't matter, that the story was a fake story. So I had a conversation today with a good friend of mine, as you all will probably know him, Mr. D.A. Roberts. Really good friend of mine. We talk a lot. I go to him with questions. Me and him discuss a lot of things. We have a lot of discussions. I take his advice to heart. And me and him have worked on a lot of things together. And he's a very intelligent man, very good author. I have to say better than that. He is a #1 bestseller author several times over. What's up, Freddie? Good to see you. So go check him out. Subscribe to him if you haven't. As far as it being fake, I'm going to throw my part in here, and then I'm going to throw in what me and DA discussed today. I took notes. As you can tell, I always take notes. So here we go. As far as any cryptid animal up until this point of 2026, there is no tangible, provable evidence that they exist that has ever been placed in a court of law, that has ever been ruled on our level to the existence of a cryptid. Okay. With that being said, you have to use your own judgment and ask yourself two things. Do you completely trust the government? And what have you saw yourself as being a knower? I think that answers the question. But to take it even further,
I'm a
DA, exactly. If you're a knower, you're a knower. You know, and
knower.
DA even brought up during our conversation, he said he believes that this case actually happened. And the reason that he believes it happened, and I concur with DA Roberts, the dates, deaths, history, and the war all fall in order as you follow history. Now, if somebody was going to write a fictitious war, a fictional, if you will, which DA is a writer, he said it would be a lot easier to just make up the characters and write it. It would be so much easier. For someone to do, he said, the way this was done, the history would have been outrageous. The research would have been outrageous. And like what DA said, they didn't have Google back then.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, well, there's no legal documents that support this. Well, there's no legal documents that support anything unless you want to go into the Melba Ketchum
Study.
which they're not even calling that legal now. A lot of people have came out and tried to defraud it.
Yeah, I believe her.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have T Cart back on also, and we're gonna go even further. I've talked to him. We're gonna go even further down that rabbit hole. So that's coming up. Another thing, Native Americans do not keep written history. Native Americans pass down history verbally in stories. So you would not have found that written anywhere. It would have been passed down as verbal stories.
Yep.
Exactly. Or as photos or pictures. But it would not have been written. So I hope that clears it up for everybody. I hope everybody is ready to explore this tonight. So let me go ahead and bring up my notes. It's going to be hard for me to see the screen. I am not ignoring anybody. It may look like it, but I'm not. So, Amanda, you done some studying on this tonight, right?
Yes, I did. I watched 2 different videos.
What is your before we jump, into this? Just what's kind of your generalization of what you listened to and watched? What is your? Do you believe it happened, or do you believe it didn't happen? And why do you believe whatever you say? You say.
I believe it happened because they have such good accounts of it. Like, I mean, names and people and just everything. It just really, it was well done. The video that I watched, at least.
That's kind of what that's what me and DA discussed too, because it all falls right in line.
Yeah, it does.
There is historical accounts, so I mean, you do have that to go off of. That there is historical accounts that do line up with the.
And there were
story.
There were a lot of videos on it too. I only watched 2 of them, but there were a lot. So. Right.
So, are you ready to jump into this?
Yep. Let's jump.
All right. Let's jump. Be like a frog.
Yes.
So, the setting is LeFlore County, Oklahoma, 1855. LeFlore is going to be a name that you're going to hear throughout this. We're going to call it an encounter throughout this encounter. So, the story of the Bigfoot War is linked to a specific time and place in which it is said to have occurred. The Choctaw Territory of LeFlore County, Oklahoma. The year is 1855. To understand the context of this legendary encounter, it is important to examine the state of the Choctaw Nation and the broader region of this time period. Now, around 1855, LeFlore County, Oklahoma was primarily a rural area within the Choctaw Nation, characterized by its mountainous terrain and its small settlements. The region was developing with the establishment of schools and the arrival of railroads, which facilitated trade and transportation. So it sounds like where this happened was a developing area of Oklahoma at the time. I would say one of my theories as to why they ran into these creatures would have been because it was the expansion. Okay, what a lot of people don't know is the Choctaw had been relocated to this part of Oklahoma against their will to make a settlement there. I feel like probably kind of what happened was we started encroaching on the Sasquatch's territory.
Yep.
And, you know, whenever you do that, you're going to have run-ins. That's kind of how I felt whenever I started reading parts of this encounter. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I think that they were pushed into their territory because they were forced there.
You think maybe there was a competition for maybe like food and
Yes.
water? We probably started eating all their food and taking their vegetables and, you know, probably foraging, taking their food. So I could see they probably wasn't real happy with us pretty much trespassing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I would say that.
So by the mid-19th century, the Choctaw had been living in their new Oklahoma homeland for over 2 decades. Despite the initial hardships of the relocation, the tribe had managed to establish a degree of stability and self-governance in the territory. The Choctaw Nation had its own constitution, elected officials, and a system of laws and courts. However, the specter of the American expansion and the increasing pressure to assimilate into white society loomed large over the tribe. So, like all the other tribes, they were trying to get them to assimilate into the white customs, to the white way of life, to the white religions, trying to take their language the way they took my people's language, the Cherokee language. So it was a tough time. They were, I mean, if you really want to just put it down there, the Native Americans were captives. They were almost, well, they were captives. They were forced to do a life that they didn't agree with. Excuse me. My allergies kicked up. It's nighttime. I do it at night, and I found out why. Pollen during the day rises with the heat. At nighttime, when it cools off, the pollen during the day that rose, it falls. That's why our allergies act up at night. I found that out today.
Good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they ride the heat waves up, and then in the evening, whenever it cools off, all the pollen and everything ends up falling, and that's why it attacks you at night.
Oh.
LeFlore County, named after the prominent Choctaw family of the same name. That's kind of neat. Of the challenges and the opportunities faced by the tribe during this era. The LeFlores, who were mixed of Choctaw and French descent, we got some Cajun in there, Sharon,
Yep.
had long played a significant role in the tribe's political and economical affairs. Their influence and leadership helped to bring the gap between the Choctaw and the encroaching American settlers, but also highlighted the complex and often fraught nature of these two cross cultures trying to interact and survive together.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I
You
think
know I'm
that
going to throw you under the bus a lot tonight, right?
I know. I think that it would have been tricky because that, like you said, they were from two different backgrounds. So, and the Indians were forced to do things that they didn't want to.
What do you think some of the things that they were forced to do that they were probably not liking? What do you think they didn't like the assimilation of?
That's a good question. I don't really know.
You know what
Probably like going to church if they tried to make them go to church or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Religion.
Yeah.
I would even say that they were forced to wear, white men's clothes. They were probably even forced to grow crops that they didn't want to grow. So there was
Yeah.
probably a lot of things that they were forced to do that they really didn't want to do. It's kind of sad, it really is. But
Yeah, it was sad.
as you move forward, this is where it starts getting pretty interesting and where it really started catching my attention. It was in this context of change and uncertainty that the mysterious raids of the Choctaw settlements and local farms began to occur. So, whenever I read that, what I got out of that was before the natives were moved into this area, you had white settlers living in LeFlore County, Oklahoma. They weren't having any trouble. They their children weren't being stolen. Their
wives.
Right, their wives weren't stolen, their crops weren't stolen, their animals weren't stolen. So they were either the white men didn't know that they were out there, or they knew they were out there and they were coexisting without trouble.
I think
That
they
was,
didn't know they were out there.
you don't think they knew?
No, not at first.
Right.
They're
So
really stealthy.
you think they were just like staying deep in the woods and they didn't know they were there?
Yeah.
So then, according to the encounter, unknown assailants is what they first thought they were. They thought they were people. Were stealing livestock, crops, and other resources from the tribe and their neighbors.
Yep.
So now both people are being attacked, sowing fear and unrest throughout the region. Even more disturbing were the reports of women and children being kidnapped from their homes, vanishing into the wilderness without a trace, day and night. Could you imagine?
No. That's when it got real.
I think they were thinking that it was humans that were taking them. And for a lot of y'all watching right now, the movie Bone Tomahawk was based off of this Oklahoma battle. If you look at history and you look at things now, hey, Herbert, good to see you. Glad you was able to make it.
Hi, Herbert.
It just falls right in line. I mean, we're talking 1850, 1855, right? So they have always, throughout history, have seen women as a breeding opportunity and as a food source as well as children. Yes. I mean, it's nothing new that they're doing it now. They've done this since, I guess, recorded time.
Yep.
And another thing that it means is they hunt us. We are the hunted.
Yep. And they're good at it.
Yeah, look how long they've been doing it. We don't even have a body, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So these attacks, which seemed to defy explanation, struck at the very heart of the Choctaw sense of security. They were scared. And for a people who had already endured so much trauma and displacement, the idea of an unseen enemy preying upon their communities was deeply unsettling. As the raids continued and the toll of the missing and the stolen mounted, the Choctaw knew they had to take action to protect their people and their way of life.
Yep.
So, there comes a time whenever the women and the children are being stolen out of your camp day and night, taken into the woods,
and disappeared without a trace.
Right. I mean, the women were upset. They were pushing the husbands to find their children, and the husbands were upset. So there comes a point to where you have to say, we have to stop this. Whatever's doing this, or whoever, we got to stop it.
Yep.
They were even confused, it says. They said these attacks, which seemed to defy explanation, struck at the very heart of the Choctaw sense of security. They were scared.
The Choctaw knew that it was Bigfoot.
Yeah, I think what they were, the Choctaw were first, it says they first said that it was a form of human that they had never seen. So that they were trying to understand,
But they had their own name for him.
Yes. Yeah, they did develop a name for him.
Yeah, the Champagne.
Yes.
What the Choctaw called him.
The Champagne. I didn't know you spoke Choctaw.
I don't, but I learned it today.
I was just playing with you.
I mean, I do now.
Well, see, that was fast. You learned that fast. You're a quick learner.
Yes.
So the Choctaw decided, we're going to have to put a stop to this, guys. They're taking our children. They're taking our wives. I mean, some of them probably didn't care, but a majority of them probably cared. And they decided, hey, we're going to have to put a stop to this. So the Choctaw response is they assembled what they called the Light Horsemen. And a lot of y'all might like to know that even today, 2026, the police department down there is called the Light Horse Police Department. So a little fact for y'all. Cool. Yeah. So faced with the growing threat of the mysterious raids, the Choctaw leadership knew that they had to do and to get a mounted army of their best warriors, an elite group of fighters known as the Light Horsemen, to track down and confront the raiders.
And the Light Horsemen weren't actually very light. They were big men.
Yeah, they said they were great warriors.
Yep.
Like these guys were
battle ridden for Indians.
Battle ridden. Well, the ones I think you're talking about that we're going to get into too is the Lupe. Remember them? The Lupe.
I haven't. No, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, you're going to love this. This is going to get really good. You're going to love it.
Okay.
You'll like it. You'll like it. I loved it. When I found it, I have so many questions, and I was like, Mike, you can't do that. The show will go forever, because I was wanting to go down that rabbit hole instead of going down this rabbit hole. And I was like, I better do one at a time.
One rabbit hole at a time, Mike.
I know. I wanted to do them both, but I didn't think you wanted to be on here till in the morning.
I'm here no matter what time.
You're here for the party.
I'm here. I'm here for the party.
You're here for the party? Yeah. So the Light Horsemen were the Choctaw Nation's premier military force. They were a band of skilled warriors and trackers who were tasked with maintaining law and order within the tribe's territory. These men were chosen for their bravery, strength, expertise, and the ways of the wilderness. And they were held at a high esteem by their fellow Choctaw elders. Leading the Light Horsemen in their mission was Joshua LeFlore.
LeFlore.
Yeah, hence LeFlore County, Oklahoma, which is still named that. There's history right there that goes together.
Was Josh LeFlore also called Gray Wolf?
I don't know. Is that? Did you find that?
Well, Gray Wolf was the lead point, the leader of the Choctaw.
Okay, there you go. Teaching me a little something. Tell me about it. I need to know about that now.
Well, he was just the leader of the Light Horse Scouts, is what it said.
Okay, so he was probably a pretty tough character.
Yes, he was.
Okay, well, Josh LeFlore was also, a very respected figure within the tribe, known for his wisdom, courage, and his diplomatic skills. LeFlore, who was a mixed Choctaw and French ancestry, embodied in complex and often conflicting identities of the Choctaw people in the face of the American expansion. His leadership of the Light Horsemen was a testament to his commitment to protecting his people and preserving their way of life. Another thing I think that gives validity to this story is not only do we have that, but we have someone of his stature at the time that is related to this story, which his death actually fits this story to a T. The time, the place, up to the burial. So, alongside LeFlore were the legendary, and if anybody wants to look these up, these are very interesting to me, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And Amanda, if I'm not, and you may know how to pronounce it better than me, just let me know.
Okay.
The legendary, and it's Tubi, and I think that's how you say it, is Tubbee. How would you?
I'd say it's Tubi.
Tubi? So the legendary Tubi warriors, okay? And this is what you're going to want to take notes on probably too, Amanda, because we're going to talk about these guys. Not today. We're not going down that rabbit hole today. This is a rabbit hole I wanted to go down.
Okay.
So this is what the Tubi warriors were. Tell me if this doesn't sound really crazy. A family of giant men.
Yep. Those are the ones I was talking
Known
about.
for their incredible size, strength, and fighting abilities, okay? Now, these guys weren't just like big guys. These were like huge. They were, listen to this, some stood over 8 foot tall.
Yep. That's the ones I heard about.
Weighed over 300 pounds.
Yes. They were huge.
Yes, and the Tubi clan were an imposing presence on the battlefield, and they were feared and respected in equal measure by their enemies, as they were able to take on 5 warriors at a time from other tribes.
Yes.
These guys were like the Macho Man song.
Yes.
Now,
they were like Bigfoots themselves.
Absolutely. And the rabbit hole I want to go down that I'm not going to, and you're making me want to, Amanda, is were these guys part Nephilim? And could these people have been the product of the women that were forced to be with the Bigfoot that had babies that were called the hairy men? And is that what we're looking at? Because they said that not only were they tall, over 8 foot tall, they were hairy.
Yeah.
They looked a little different than normal people. There's something there. There's something there.
There's another rabbit hole. We can't go down that
one. There's something there. There is oh no, Jock, I don't know if that's where Tubi steak comes from or not, but it's really good. So these soldiers almost sound like giants. I disagree with that. These are giants. Any man over 8 foot tall that weighs over 300 pounds, I'm calling that a giant.
Me too.
This is very interesting. It makes me wonder if Bigfoot, mated with the women. It said they had, now this is what's weird to me, animal and human characteristics. So what are they trying to tell us there, Amanda? They had animal and human characteristics.
That they were part Bigfoot.
And they had their own language.
Wow.
So they're their own clan, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, they were.
So these guys are some caw-caw. They're some bad ones. So together, this formidable group of warriors set out from the Choctaw capital, oh my gosh, of Tuskahoma, determined to put an end to the raids and bring perpetrators to justice. So they weren't bad. That's the thing. They were actually trying to stop the Sasquatch from taking the women and children. So they weren't bad, right?
No.
That's interesting too. I won't go down that rabbit hole because I really, really want to right now. My mind is like turning. So armed with their traditional weapons, their unshakable resolve, they rode out into the wilderness of the McCurtain County wilderness area following the trail of the elusive enemy. So, Amanda, when I heard him say that, it kind of gave me a few ideas. And one of the ideas I have whenever they said that is, you notice they said that there was a trail.
Yeah.
And, when we say a trail, we don't mean a human trail or like a trail in a park or somewhere like that. We're talking about a trail in the middle of nowhere that we would call a game trail, right?
Yeah.
It's not a human trail in a park. It's a game trail. It is something that is traveled by an animal or a creature that is deep in the woods. It's not human.
They also they marked the trees like the Indians did, the champagne. They had
Uh-huh.
perfect they also had perfect mimicry. Like they could mimic the Indian sounds and the humans too.
So how do you spell that, champagne? I'm interested in that.
I don't know how to spell it, but I spelled it SHAMPAY so I could know how to say it.
Okay. That's what I do too. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
So we have the champagne and we have
Yep.
the tubi. So I'm going to look at that because in my investigations, we're getting a lot of mimics and we have a lot of tree markings. So you
Yep.
got me wondering something.
Yeah. They learned
So
from the Indians. They learned from the settlers too. They mimicked their ways that they did stuff.
so
The Champay were very smart.
so they reminds me of the Watchers.
Yep. Reminds me of that too.
Hmm. Oh, thank you, Blue Bitty. I happened to look up. I could barely see that. It's SHAMPE, champagne.
Oh, okay.
Huh. So together, this formidable group of warriors set out from the Choctaw capital of Tuscaloosa, determined to put an end to this enemy. Now, this also indicates to me that they're traveling, if there's a path, they're traveling this path over and over again to create a path.
Yep.
And you noticed the other night when I done that hour-long boots on the ground, we had to stop because of the rain. Did you notice how many paths were inside of there where I was at?
Yeah, I did.
Those were unnatural paths.
True.
So they said as they ventured deeper into the forest, the light horsemen encountered signs of the raiders' presence.
Yep.
Abandoned campsites, broken branches. There you go, broken branches.
Yep.
And the occasional footprint or scrap of cloth. I found a lot of cloth down there where I'm at too. However, the true nature of their foe remained a mystery hidden somewhere in the dense undergrowth and the rugged terrain. So you notice how they are in the undergrowth, and I think the reason they like the undergrowth is because they're able to crawl.
Yep.
They can get down and crawl around in that undergrowth. I've had that happen to me. Remember when Randy got really scared when that happened to me?
I don't.
Oh, we had one night when it was crawling at me, and Randy was like, "Get out of there! Get out of there!" I see it. He could see it
Oh, I
crawling.
think I do. I think I do remember that night.
I think it was during the flood that I had down here. Remember the
Yeah.
flood?
Yes.
And of course, they're staying in the hardest places to reach, and I think they're doing that, just for the security that humans aren't just going to come up on them, right?
Yeah. True.
Uh, this is where the Choctaw get a little bit of a surprise. Little did the Choctaw warriors know that they were about to face an adversary unlike any they had ever encountered before.
Yep.
One that would test their courage, their skills, and their very understanding of the world around them. Can you imagine? You're this great warrior, right? And you're riding your horse into this area, and you're expecting to see like these bandits or somebody like that you could just take care of, that we're going to go in here, we're going to take care of these bandits, and we're going to go back home.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you ride up on these monstrous creatures that don't even look human. Imagine riding up on that.
That would be terrifying.
That would just totally. It would make you like start. You would probably be questioning yourself. Am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Because it's not supposed to exist.
And their combat training, the Champagne displayed training evolving beyond human comprehension. So they had like training that was beyond the Indians and the white men's comprehension. They didn't understand how they knew all this.
Really.
Yeah.
So these guys were
Warriors. The Bigfoot were warriors.
wow. Man, we could go so far down that. We're going to though later. So, the confrontation and the clash of the monstrous creatures. You're right, Kristen. Run.
Yeah,
I think, that probably crossed some of their minds. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them didn't run.
they
I mean,
probably did.
run for your lives. As the light horsemen rode deeper into the wilderness, the signs of their quarry's presence grew even more ominous.
Yeah.
The once vibrant forest seemed to grow quieter with each passing mile, as if even the birds and the beasts were aware of some unseen danger lurking in the shadows. The woods would become too quiet and too calm, which the warriors knew. In a quiet forest, there was a predator amongst them. Then, without warning, here's where it gets crazy. Then, without warning, the warriors were overtaken by a stink that was so overpowering that they were throwing up and the horses refused to go forward. It was the unmistakable odor of death and decay.
Yep. And that was their women and children.
So can you imagine?
No. They come across their women and children all just eaten and scavenged.
Right. So do Bigfoot stink because of where they live? Or are they like a dog and they roll in it?
That's a good question.
I've wondered that.
I think they probably just stink because they don't have deodorant or soap.
And when they eat, they just get it all over them?
Yeah.
Sloppy eaters?
Well, and plus, if they don't bathe regularly, they're going to stink because,
Yeah.
they're hairy.
Right. So, pressing onward, the Choctaw soon found themselves in a small clearing. There, the source of the horrific smell was immediately apparent. On the forest floor were the partially devoured remains of dozens of women and children. Their bodies were twisted and broken into grotesque pieces of savagery. Among the grisly scene, 3 enormous hairy covered creatures were crouched over the corpses, their muzzles stained with blood, human flesh hanging from their teeth as they were devouring the rotting corpses.
Ew.
So, a little bit of probably smell coming from that. They were eating the women and the children.
And they were decayed bodies.
Yeah, already rotting. It just, wow. These are some sick creatures. And then also, Scott Carpenter, he warned, don't hunt these creatures, especially women.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good example as to why not to hunt the women, or why the women shouldn't go. Not only are they hunted and they breed them, they also see the women
as food.
You're a food source, and women have different pheromone smells than men, which may attract these creatures even more, which would put a woman in
danger.
Presumably, more danger. I mean,
Yep.
There's a lot more things that could potentially happen to a woman than what would happen to a man. I think that's why Scott Carpenter was so just keen on
women
do not hunt them. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Women, he said, should not hunt these creatures.
Yep.
He also
go in the woods by yourself at all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that, I don't like doing it when I do it either. I don't like going down there alone. I just don't have a choice, but I really don't like to do that. It is an ominous feeling sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
So
we're there with you. We feel it too.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I can feel it every time I'm there. The sight of these monstrous beings, which seem to combine the worst aspects of man and beast, sent a wave of shock through the light horsemen. These are warriors that were afraid of just what they were looking at.
Yep. They
For
were
a
terrified.
moment, oh yeah, it says for a moment, even the bravest among them hesitated,
Yep.
struggling to comprehend the sheer wrongness of the creatures before them. But as the initial shock wore off, it was replaced by burning rage, a primal urge to avenge the innocent purge of the women and the children that were taken by these abominations. So their anger started to take over their fear, because I'm sure some of their wives and children were eaten by these creatures. Now, whenever I heard this, and you really take into consideration as to what they saw, how they saw. I mean, you're talking about warriors that were just looking at this creature. They were struggling to even comprehend the wrongness of these creatures.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, it took me back to the Bible, right? Luke 21:26. In a time of great distress and fear due to the events occurring in the world, the verse emphasizes the anxiety of terror that people will experience when they witness these troubling signs. And if anybody wants to look this up, Luke 21:26 also, men's hearts failing them for the fear and for looking after those things which are coming onto the earth, for the powers of heaven will even be shaken. There's some creatures, guys, going to come upon this earth that are going to cause young men's hearts to fail them just
Yep.
by looking at them. Just by looking at them.
Like this one.
Absolutely. You know, it would be terrifying. You know, I've got pretty scared out there just walking in the woods at night.
Yeah, could you imagine coming across something like that?
Yeah. It says, with a fierce cry, Joshua LeFlore spurred his horse forward, drawing his pistol and saber as he charged toward the nearest creature. The beast, caught off guard by the sudden attack, barely had time to react before LeFlore was upon it. His blade, flashing in the sunlight, but even as the Choctaw leader rained blows upon the monster, LeFlore's sword would bounce off of it, only creating small wounds that the creature would just shake off. It was almost like trying to bust through oak bark. So they were using swords, and they had no effect on these creatures' skin. So you have to realize, guys, the size of these beasts. You're talking about trying to run out with a sword and trying to fight a hippo or an elephant, right? It's probably not going to turn out good for you.
Probably not.
It's going to be just enough to really probably anger whatever it is. So suddenly, a second creature lunged from the shadows, its massive hand. Listen to this, guys. Its massive hand swatted LeFlore's horse to the ground, killing it. This thing slapped a horse's head so hard that he knocked the horse down and killed it. Imagine that.
That's power.
That's raw, straight power. So the warrior tumbled to the forest floor. LeFlore, dazed but unbroken, and immediately rolled to his feet to face his attacker with a roar of defiance. LeFlore emptied his pistol into the beast's chest, the rounds tearing through the flesh and the bone. So he'd done damage with his pistol. But still the creature came at him with its eyes blazing with feral anger. Now this creature was shot by a pistol. Now you got to remember, guys, you're talking 1855. You're talking black powder pistols. You're talking pistols that do not have the pressure or the power of our pistols nowadays.
Yeah, not even close.
No, not even close. And it was doing some damage to this creature. It was piercing the skin and the bone. Now, it wasn't going far enough, in my opinion, to be able to reach the organs that you would need to reach to be able to stop something. And that's not to say that this creature would not die eventually from the wounds. The problem is you're not stopping it before it's able to do harm to you. That's
retaliate against you.
right. So if it dies later, it really don't matter if he wipes everybody out, right?
Exactly, and they did.
Yeah. Thank you, Sunshine, for that very much. God bless you for that.
Thank you, Sunshine.
So as LeFlore and the creature grappled in a desperate hand-to-hand struggle, so he's fighting this thing hand-to-hand now, the rest of the light horsemen finally sprang into action. The 2B warriors, armed with their massive 50 caliber Sharps buffalo rifles, took aim at the remaining beasts, and their shots echoed. Pull this down for you. Their shots echoed through the forest like thunder. One by one, the creatures fell, their bodies riddled with gaping wounds. Now, whenever y'all hear them say 50 caliber Sharps rifle, what you need to understand is this is still a black powder rifle, okay? This is not like a super high pressure power rifle. It is strong, and they did kill buffalo with them. But the 50 caliber Sharps rifle is by no means have the power that our rifles and weapons have today.
Yep.
The Sharps rifle was like a .54, I believe, or like a .577 caliber.
And they didn't have the accuracy that ours do.
No, not at all. Because even later on, the 45-70 was developed even after that. The 45-110, if I remember right, those both had significantly more power than even the 50 caliber Sharps, but they were still black powder also. So our weapons today, if these weapons are working, shouldn't have any problem working against them, because the weapons today are a lot better. The bullet construction is better. The sectional density is better. The overall flight is better. I mean, I could go guns all night, but yeah, that's something I think that was important anyways, is to know that, yeah, even though they didn't have the best guns, they still worked, and they were still able to unalive them.
So
right. But, the victory was short-lived. The Choctaws' horror, the creature battling LeFlore, this is the sad part, suddenly lunged forward as powerful jaws clamping down on the warrior's head. This thing's mouth, guys, was so big it was able to bite his head. It bit his head
off.
And then it twisted violently with a sickening crack, and LeFlore's lifeless body crumbled to the ground, and his head was torn from his shoulders.
Yep.
So, whatever this was, Bigfoot, imagine the size of a mouth to be able to bite a full human's head, to bite it, and to be able just to pull it off. That's what we're dealing with out in these woods, folks. And if you notice, it knew to break his neck. So that also makes you wonder, is that why we don't hear any screams or anything when people are abducted? Is because they just twist their head?
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, that almost, I don't know, it kind of makes sense, but it's scary to think about, right? So, enraged by the loss of their leader, the Tubi clan redoubled their efforts, pouring a relentless barrage of fire into the remaining creatures. Finally, the beast staggered and fell, its massive bulk crashing to the forest floor in a cloud of leaves and in a cloud of blood. As the echoes of the battle faded, the light horsemen stood in stunned silence as they watched the Lupes and their friends, which I'm guessing may be the Champais, destroy these creatures with brutal force, a force that the natives could not match. The creatures, whatever they were, thank you for that, Sky, very much. God bless you for that. Thank you very much.
Sky. Thank you, Sky.
As the echoes of the battle faded, the light horsemen stood in stunned silence, their minds reeling from the sheer horror of what they had just witnessed. The creatures, whatever they were, had been unlike anything they had ever seen or heard before. A nightmarish blend of animal savagery, and human cunning, and yet, even in death, the beast seemed to exude an aura of malevolence, as their very presence was a violation of the order of nature. These things were so crazy looking that even when they died, they were in fear of their bodies, of how they looked.
That's scary.
Can you imagine? You got warriors out there that have been to battle, and these guys are so big, so strong, so trained, and
They're just getting their heads popped off.
Yeah, and they're afraid of even what they're looking at after it's been defeated. They're looking at it still saying, "Oh my God, you're not supposed to exist. You're not supposed to be here," right?
Yeah.
It's thank you, Sky. My allergies trying to kick up. So the aftermath, after all of this happened, they all got together. And in the days, and in, while they were out there, they stayed, I'm guessing, at the camp for a while. The days and weeks that followed the fateful battle, the Choctaw Nation was plunged into a state of mourning. They took the bodies of the dead creatures and they burned them.
Yep.
The Tubi clan, this is what's weird, the Tubi clan loaded up their dead and took them with them.
Yep.
And swore never to speak their name in the woods again. Listen to this, folks. Or to whistle in the woods. What did they learn about the whistling is what I wondered, because
they could mimic them. They learned to mimic them like perfectly.
Right, and look at the movie Bone Tomahawk, the noise they made.
I've never seen it, but I need to watch it.
Oh, you got to watch it. That's a great movie. In the years that followed, the Choctaw Nation would share these stories orally down through their generations of these creatures that lived in the woods. But later, the Tubi clan would be harassed and attacked by the white man's soldiers because they were different and they were also pushed into the dark woods. So would the Tubi soldiers even be nice to us now? I doubt it. Did that cause the Tubi soldiers and the Bigfoot to become friends because we decided we wanted to kill everything?
Maybe.
It's crazy, isn't it,
yeah.
Tim? I don't, it's... What do you think? I mean, we attacked them just because they look different.
Yeah, that's messed up.
And no telling what we caused them to want to do out there. I'm sure they hate us. I mean, if I ran across one today, they're probably going to be like, we helped those people. I mean, they had creatures stealing their women, eating their children, and then they attacked me because I was too hairy and I looked different,
Yeah, that's messed up.
I think I'll just eat this guy, Yeah,
exactly.
Or I'll take his wife and I'll go eat her, and then, hope he comes and tries to hunt me down, and then I'll eat him.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know. But that is the story, guys, of the Oklahoma battle. Now, we could have went down a lot of different rabbit holes, and we will in the future, definitely. We're going to take a look at the Champagne, the Tubi. I want to see what they really are. I think it's worth looking at.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good thing, J-Rock, and that's probably why, because J-Rock, the elders used to tell me when I was little, if you want to go to the woods and you want to get an encounter, take a woman with you. They always said that. They always did.
There you go.
So there you go. God, I can only imagine if I took a woman with me, it's bad enough alone.
I still want to go.
Still want to go?
Yep.
Well, we're going to have to find out a way to get you down to Oklahoma.
Yep.
Flying would probably be better for you than driving. if
Yeah.
you like to fly.
I don't care about flying. Flying doesn't bother me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof. I'm afraid to fly.
Oh, I would fly before I would drive anytime.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, Sunshine, while you're in here, I'm going to be re-examining the case and trying to figure out where that Nutra came from also. Thought you would like that. Well, Amanda, that's pretty much all I've got for tonight. We got a little shorter night tonight, almost an hour and a half, but I think we had a really good show. We had a lot of good information. What do you think?
I think we did too.
I think so too. Is there anything you'd like to tell everybody before we jump off here?
Thank you for being here, and that I love you all, and God bless you all.
All right, guys, you heard it. I hope you all enjoyed this story tonight. I pick you. He could pick you up on the way from Tennessee. He said Herbert could pick you up, Amanda.
I live in California, Herbert.
Yeah, she's way out there in California. But yeah, thank you guys for supporting us and everything. Don't forget, tomorrow night at 9:00 p.m. Central Time, we're going to be boots on the ground. So come over and join me as I go walk through the woods. And I know that's probably a lot of your all's favorite, but we're going to go do it tomorrow night at 9:00, weather permitting. I don't know what the weather is going to be, but that is the plan. The thumbnail's already out. You can go in that thumbnail now, hit notify me, and it'll give you a double notification to make sure you're notified. Thank you, everybody, for supporting us tonight. And as always, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner, and we'll see you on the next one. Good night.
Good night.
God bless.
Good night.